The sky over Sunnyvale lit up in flashes of green and purple, bright enough to turn night into day. Strange, booming sounds rippled across the horizon. The invasion had begun. 13-year-old Max Farley watched in terror from his bedroom window as foreign shapes descended from the clouds, sleek metallic discs gliding through the air, pulsing with eerie light. Spindly robotic walkers stalked down the main street of their small town, laser cannons incinerating cars, trees, and buildings. Max's mother, Joan, burst into his room, eyes wide with panic. "Max, get down to the basement now. Your father and sister are already down there." Max reluctantly tore himself away from the unbelievable scene outside and followed his mother down the creaky wooden stairs to their dusty basement. His dad, Frank, was hunched over a sputtering radio while his younger sister, Lucy, cried softly in the corner. "What's going on?" "What are those things?" Max asked, his voice quivering. Frank fiddled with the radio dials. Some kind of alien attack from the sounds of it. Before communications went down, they were saying these ships were spotted all over the world. Major cities already wiped out. Who knows if help is coming? The family huddled together as the ground shook from nearby explosions. Max tried to stay brave for Lucy's sake, but his mind raced with fearful thoughts. Would the aliens find them down here? Did they have enough food and water to outlast an invasion? What if they were the only survivors? Hours passed. The sounds of destruction eventually faded, leaving an eerie silence. Max's parents debated in hushed tones whether it was safe to emerge from hiding. Suddenly, a crash came from above somewhere in the house. The Farleys froze, hardly daring to breathe. Footsteps creaked across the floorboards. Something was inside. Frank grabbed a baseball bat, their only weapon, and crept up the basement stairs. "Stay here," he whispered to the others. Heart pounding, Max ignored his dad's order and quietly followed a few steps behind, desperate to know what they were facing. The house was dark, the air hazy with dust. Frank advanced cautiously into the kitchen, bat raised. Max peeked around the corner. A small, shadowy figure stood in the gloom, knocking over pans as it rooted through the cupboards. Max gasped. It spun around. He expected a terrifying alien monster. But in the thin beam of light from the basement door, Max saw it was just a child, or what looked like a child, except for large dark eyes, pale blue skin, and no hair. The alien child froze when it spotted them. Then it spoke in halting English, "Please, help." Frank kept the bat raised. "What are you? What do you want?" "Xyloth. Need place hide." "Family, gone." The child's voice quivered with emotion. Max recognized fear, loss, desperation. Max's heart went out to the scared alien boy. He stepped out from behind his dad. "It's okay, we can help you. I'm Max. This is my dad, Frank. Come with us." Frank shot Max a warning look, but sighed and lowered the bat. The alien child hesitated, then nodded and followed them down to the basement. Joan and Lucy were shocked at first, but the child quickly won them over with his gentle demeanor and halting story. He said his name was Ixlor, and he'd gotten separated from his family when the invasion began. Now he was alone on a hostile planet, with nowhere to go. Despite the strangeness of the situation, the Farleys' compassion won out over fear. They agreed to let Ixlor stay with them, at least until they figured out what to do. Over the following days and weeks, the Farleys and Ixlor forged an unlikely bond as they survived in hiding together. Though the world outside had stopped burning, alien drones still patrolled the ruins, hunting down human survivors to ship off to labor camps. Ixlor proved to be intelligent and resourceful. He had an eidetic memory, rapidly absorbing English and anything else he read in the Farleys' dusty book collection. He could also sense the emissions of the alien tech, warning the family whenever drones approached. To keep occupied, Max started teaching Ixlor about life on Earth, everything from baseball to comic books to riding a bike. In turn, the alien boy shared stories of his home world and the wonders of the galaxy. A fast friendship formed between the two, despite Max still wrestling with the knowledge that Ixlor's kind had destroyed his world. As months passed, the Farleys were able to make occasional supply runs into the abandoned ruins of town, scavenging for food, batteries, tools, and information. Tattered newspapers hinted at a resistance movement. A lone radio broadcast claimed that a human uprising in New York had beaten back the aliens with salvaged laser weapons. For the first time, a faint sense of hope kindled, but their precarious situation couldn't last forever. One day while foraging, an alien tripod drone stumbled upon their house. The family watched in horror from the basement window as it smashed inside, its scanners sweeping. "It's going to find the heat from the basement vents." "We have to run," Frank said, his voice heavy with dread. "Out the cellar door, into the woods." "What about Ixlor?" "We can't leave him," Max cried. Over the last year, the alien had become like a brother to him. Joan hugged Max close. "Honey, if they catch us with him, it'll be even worse. He'll have to hide here. His body temp is lower, he might avoid the heat scans." Ixlor reached out and grasped Max's hand, his expression sad but resolute. "Max, go please. I be okay. Find you later." With no time to argue, the Farleys grabbed their bug-out bags and made a break for the trees. Max choked back a sob as he left his alien brother behind. As they vanished into the forest, he heard the sound of the drone's stomping feet grow louder, then a crash as it knocked over shelves to reach Ixlor's hiding spot. Max desperately wanted to turn back, but his dad pulled him forward. They had to survive. The Farleys fled for days, sticking to the wilderness. Max was consumed with worry for Ixlor. At night, his dreams were haunted by visions of his friend in an alien prison cell, or worse. After a week of aimless running, the family made a shocking discovery: a hidden rebel base disguised underneath a hydroelectric dam. Dozens of humans in improvised armor, wielding retrofitted alien blasters, had carved out a fortified sanctuary and were plotting to take back the planet. The Farleys were welcomed into the resistance. Frank and Joan eagerly joined the fight, while Max and Lucy were protected along with the other children. For the first time in forever, Max felt a surge of hope. But his thoughts still constantly turned to Ixlor. He had to believe his alien brother was still out there somewhere. As the weeks turned to months, the resistance made progress with tactical strikes and sabotage. The Farleys learned that most of the aliens had already left Earth, leaving behind a skeleton force of automated drones and a few garrisons of living soldiers to oversee the remaining subjugated human population. A coordinated global offensive could break the occupation. Then one night, alarms rang out through the base. Sentries had captured an alien infiltrator at the perimeter. As the prisoner was dragged in at gunpoint, Max felt his heart triple hammer. He recognized that blue skin, those dark eyes, it was Ixlor. The alien teen looked exhausted and malnourished, his environmental suit jury-rigged and battered. Despite his rough appearance, his face lit up when he saw Max. "Max, knew I find you," he rasped out in his much-improved English. The rebels, however, instantly raised their weapons, shouting threats. To them, this was an alien invader, not a friend. Max leapt in front of Ixlor, shielding him with his own body. "Stop. He's not a threat. This is Ixlor, he's my friend, he's family. We hid him for almost a year. He's against the invasion too." The resistance fighters hesitated, not lowering their guns. Ixlor spoke up from behind Max, his voice steady. "Please, yes. Max tells truth. I reject my kind's attack on your people. I want help to defeat them. I have information." Tense negotiations followed, but Ixlor's shocking revelations soon won over the skeptical rebels. The Farleys vouched for his character and loyalty. Ixlor shared critical intel on the aliens' chain of command, communications protocols, and technology that could turn the tide of the war. As word spread to other resistance cells around the world, Ixlor became an unlikely figurehead for the movement, an alien defector, proving that the invaders were not a monolith, and that there was still a chance for peace. Under his guidance, the human forces quickly knocked out the remaining alien strongholds across the globe. In a final assault, Ixlor himself flew a captured attack ship to disable the communication array that kept the mindless worker drones and robotic war machines in line. In a flash, the alien infrastructure across the planet shut down, leaving their forces helpless. The war was over. Earth was free. In the aftermath, a new society began to take shape, one that would remain vigilant against hostile aliens but was also eager to embrace a friendly emissary from the stars. Ixlor helped the world's leaders establish defense systems and diplomatic outreach programs for when the wider galactic community inevitably came calling. For his own part, Ixlor made Earth his permanent home, and the Farleys officially adopted him into the family. No longer the scared, lost child in the darkness, he grew into a brilliant young man determined to use his knowledge to guide humanity into a brighter tomorrow, lighting the way to the stars. As the world rebuilt and adapted to the post-invasion reality, Ixlor found himself at the center of Earth's rapid technological and social transformation. His unique insights and alien knowledge base were invaluable in advancing human understanding of the cosmos and their place in it. Under Ixlor's guidance, humanity reverse-engineered the abandoned alien technology, leapfrogging centuries ahead in scientific development. New propulsion systems, energy sources, and materials science revolutionized every aspect of life on Earth. Poverty, disease, and environmental degradation became solvable problems as Ixlor taught humans how to live in harmony with each other and their world. However, not everyone was thrilled about an alien having such profound influence over the planet's progress. Fringe groups emerged, espousing xenophobic beliefs and conspiracy theories about Ixlor's true intentions. They believed he was a sleeper agent, paving the way for another invasion, or plotting to subjugate humanity under alien rule. Despite the Farley family's best efforts to shield Ixlor from these hateful ideologies, the constant barrage took a toll on the young alien. He began to question his place on Earth and whether his presence was hindering more than helping. These doubts came to a head when an extremist group launched a coordinated attack on several of the research facilities Ixlor had helped establish. Dozens of scientists were killed or injured, and years of invaluable work was lost. The terrorists issued a statement declaring that Earth must sever all ties with Ixlor and alien influences or face further consequences. Ixlor was devastated. In the aftermath of the attack, he tearfully told the Farleys that he was considering leaving Earth, at least until things settled down. He couldn't bear the thought of being the cause of more violence and division. Max, now an adult and one of Ixlor's closest confidants, refused to accept this. He rallied the family and their allies in the government to publicly decry the actions of the extremists and reaffirm their support for Ixlor. A massive outpouring of appreciation from people all over the world whose lives had been touched by Ixlor's efforts soon followed. In a globally televised event, world leaders unanimously granted Ixlor full citizenship and declared him a hero of Earth. Emboldened by this show of solidarity, Ixlor decided to stay and redouble his efforts to prepare humanity for the challenges of a galactic future. With Max by his side, he launched a new initiative, a worldwide education program to foster understanding, cooperation, and unity among all of Earth's people. As years passed, Ixlor's dream of a peaceful, enlightened Earth gradually became reality. Under his continued guidance, humans established thriving colonies on the Moon, Mars, and beyond. Contact was made with other friendly alien civilizations, opening up exciting new frontiers for trade, cultural exchange, and scientific collaboration. Through it all, the bond between Ixlor and his adoptive human family only grew stronger. Max's children affectionately called Ixlor Uncle, and he delighted in sharing stories of his home world and the wonders of the cosmos with the next generation of Farleys. As Ixlor grew older, and his once vivid blue skin faded to a soft gray, he reflected on his unlikely journey from frightened refugee to celebrated leader and marveled at the profound impact a single act of kindness and acceptance from a human family had made on the trajectory of an entire planet. And so, Earth spun on into a bright and boundless future, forever changed by the love between a human boy and the alien brother he found in the darkness. As the decades passed and humanity spread further into the stars, Ixlor remained a central figure in Earth's galactic affairs. His wisdom and diplomatic skills were often called upon to navigate the complex web of interspecies relationships that came with being a spacefaring civilization. One day, an urgent communication arrived from a far-off system. A previously unknown alien empire had emerged from the depths of space and was expanding aggressively, conquering worlds and subjugating populations. Earth's allies were requesting Ixlor's counsel on how to respond to this new threat. Despite his advancing years, Ixlor didn't hesitate. With Max's grandson, a promising young xenoplomat named Zach, by his side, Ixlor embarked on a perilous journey to the front lines of the brewing conflict. As they navigated the dangers of contested space, Ixlor couldn't shake a growing sense of familiarity with the descriptions of the enemy's tactics and technology. It wasn't until they captured a sample of the invaders' genetic material that Ixlor's worst fears were confirmed. The hostile empire was none other than his own species, the Xyloth. Ixlor was faced with a terrible dilemma. How could he help defend the galaxy against his own kind? He struggled with feelings of guilt and torn loyalty, wondering if he could have done more to steer his people down a path of peace. In a tense confrontation with the Xyloth Emperor, Ixlor learned the truth behind his species' aggression. In the years since the failed invasion of Earth, The Xyloth had fallen under the sway of a tyrannical regime that exploited their advanced technology for conquest and oppression. The Emperor revealed that Ixlor was a child of prophecy, seen as a threat to their rule. They had orchestrated the Earth invasion to eliminate him, not knowing he would survive and go on to become a symbol of hope. With this knowledge, Ixlor realized that he was uniquely positioned to end the conflict. He challenged the Emperor to single combat, invoking an ancient Xyloth tradition where the victor's ideals would become law. In an epic battle broadcast across the galaxy, Ixlor fought not just for Earth and its allies, but for the soul of his species. With Zack and Max watching anxiously from the sidelines, Ixlor ultimately triumphed, disarming the Emperor and forcing him to yield. Under the terms of the duel, the Xyloth were compelled to cease their conquest and make amends with the worlds they had harmed. Ixlor, seen as a legendary hero by his own kind, assumed a role as a unifying leader, guiding the Xyloth to a more peaceful and cooperative way of life. As the galaxy settled into a new era of unity, Ixlor finally returned to Earth, where the Farley family eagerly awaited him. In a poignant scene, a frail but contented Ixlor was embraced by Max, now an old man himself. They marveled at the incredible journey they had shared and the profound impact a single act of compassion could have on countless lives. Earth, now a shining beacon of diversity and progress, celebrated Ixlor as the galactic peacemaker he had become. And as he looked out over the vibrant, multicultural world he had helped shape, Ixlor knew that his life, a bridge between two worlds, had been one of purpose and meaning. He was home. A